You're listening to How to 20-something, the only podcast that helps both men and women navigate their 20s and learn how to adult across all aspects of their lives. We're going to be focusing on career, relationships, finances, fitness, nutrition, and all of the common challenges and obstacles a typical 20-something will face in this post-college life and what to do about it. I'm your host, Just Diamond, and I am the CEO and founder of Just Diamond Coaching, where I help young professionals get their shit together, gain their confidence, and own their life. No one prepares you for this adulting world, so allow me to help you feel like you are no longer a chicken running around with its head cut off, and that you actually know what the hell is going on and what your next step to take is. Welcome to How to 20-something. Welcome back to How to 20-something. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the wonderful world of online dating and how to change your mentality around it, while also trying to convince myself to view it better. Because yes, I was being sarcastic when titling this episode. If you know me, then you know I hate online dating. The apps feel so superficial, and then you get all caught up in decision fatigue because you could be talking to a great human being, but then think, wait, what if this person is better? And as a result, you continue to end up alone, all because you keep thinking of what else could be out there. Honestly, I think guys should listen to this episode the most because your profiles are god-awful, and I'm being nice when I say that. The pictures you choose are blurry, the prompts you write, if you even write prompts, give us nothing to work with, and you willingly throw all your red flags into your profile when it should be your best foot forward. And unfortunately for you, it might already be your best foot forward. I've been trying to improve my dating life this year. It was part of my New Year's resolution to go on one date a month organically, so without the use of the apps, and I failed miserably from January through April. And then in May, I asked out a guy I thought was a suitable bachelor, and he friend-zoned me on the date, at the start of the date. So my Sunday scaries post-terrible coffee date that wasn't an actual date led me to downloading Bumble. And oh my goodness, it's worse than I expected when I already had very low expectations set for it, which is why I feel called to make an episode about dating apps. So here we are. First off, I know dating apps have a success rate. My sister and her fiance met on Bumble. My friends who have been married for 4 years met on Tinder. My friend and her boyfriend met on Tinder. My other friend and her fiance met on Hinge. And even another friend just became official with her boyfriend, and they met on Bumble. So yes, there is proof that it does work, but there is also so much more proof of it not working at all and being a very frustrating process. And hopefully by the end of this episode, you and I will both feel differently about the dating apps and the world of online dating, because trust me when I say I'm right here with you. It's rough out there. Dating in your 20s is already tough. People are moving around, trying to figure their own life out, not ready to settle down, filled with the trauma from their last relationship, and are still growing as a person and not really sure what they're looking for. Now, I made an episode on dating in your 20s a long time ago, but this one is specifically about dating online and is to help shift your mindset going into it and the way you are experiencing it. I will say, living in a city does keep the people younger longer, and what I mean by that is city life promotes the single bachelor life with multiple girls around, late nights at the bar, and college culture extended well into adulthood, making it even harder to find someone suitable for you. Now, online dating has been around for a long time. I remember as a kid, my mom would be on JDate, or on TV, you would see a commercial for Christian singles. I think there was even a platform for farmers. There was eHarmony, Match.com. So online dating was around well before what we know it as today, with the three primary ones now being Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. And I can't really speak as to whether or not things have shifted from the creation of the different platforms, but I am going to focus on primarily Bumble and Hinge for the purpose of this episode, and then within that, the heterosexual side of dating apps, as I can't personally speak to the LGBTQ community. The stereotypes of these primary apps are Tinder is the hookup app, Hinge is the nice one that's the most helpful, and Bumble is the safest because the girl has to make the first move. Although, now even that part has changed because you can add an opening prompt to your profile that lets the guy message you first. Up until now, I've only had one guy message me first, and he's actually the only Bumble date I've gone on. It helped that I recognized him from the gym when I came across his profile, so I knew he wasn't a complete psychopath, and he had great taste in gyms. But I think the biggest problem dating apps create from a psychological perspective is the too many options. It's hard to settle down when there's always going to be the potential to swipe right and match with someone new and possibly better. I asked a few of my friends their opinions on dating apps while I was creating this episode, and I asked their mindset around it, tricks or tips they've learned along the way, and really anything that would help me with this topic. And one of my guy friends mentioned that when he has a date on the calendar with a girl, he pauses his profile so he's not tempted to continue swiping. He's helping his brain focus on one person at a time and to see where it goes, and doesn't want to keep distracting himself with the bigger, better offer that could present itself with one more profile, one more swipe. I told him that I liked that idea, but that I'm also reading the book called Attached, and it says that if you have an anxious attachment style, it is actually more beneficial for you to continue to schedule dates with other people even when you've found someone you like, simply because it helps your brain not focus on that one person and whether they have responded to your message or not, or planned a date with you again to see you again or not. So it calms your attachment system in the form of a healthy distraction, and it's not letting you put all of your eggs in that one basket. Now, of course, when things become official or more serious between you two, then yes, remove your profile and stop going on other dates. But when you're still within that first month of seeing one another and you know you are an anxious person, then continue to put yourself out there. So it's really knowing what's going to work best for you based on your own tendencies. I know I get really anxious, so it would be better for me to keep my options open and not pause my profile, but maybe you are someone, like my guy friend, who does need to do so. Another aspect of the dating apps is you are meeting a complete stranger from the internet, and that's not something you should forget. From a safety standpoint, your first date should be in public, in the daytime, preferably doing an activity, and your friend should know where you're going. I say it should be an activity because moving your body around and having something else to do will help with conversations and with any awkwardness or first date jitters. This could entail going for a walk, or mini golfing, even top golf, or pickleball, something that still encourages conversation, but also lets your own energy move around. My friend Bree also says to avoid having a table between you guys, as that subconsciously, but also literally puts up a barrier. So keep that note in mind too, but that's not 100% necessary for a first date. You can have a table between you. Just giving you all of the information that I can. And this next piece of advice is more so for my ladies listening, but drive yourself to the date. A stranger shouldn't know where you live because you don't know who this person could actually be. From a dating standpoint, this is a stranger. You can't expect yourself to know immediately whether this person is worth pursuing after one date. Obviously, if that date was awful and the energy wasn't there, the other person was rude or whatever the case may be, then yeah, you know not to go on another date, and you also have the peace of mind that they don't know where you live. But if you come out of that date and think, that was fun, the conversation was good, I still don't really know how I feel about him or her, then yeah, go on another date. Again, drive yourself there. If there was no blaring red flag, give the other person another chance so you can get to know them better. After all, the first date is typically surface level topics, and you can't truly get to know someone within the first 60 minutes of ever meeting them. Think about your friendships. Did you become instant besties the first time you ever met them? Or did it take a couple tries to establish trust and like for them? My guess is it's the latter. Even my current best friend took a few times of being together before I fully was like, yeah, I want to be around this person more often. But the bottom line is, online dating is not natural. I don't care who you are. It is not a natural way for two people to know each other. Back in the olden days, people met each other through friends or coworkers and already had some level of trust and referral established because of the mutual connection. Online dating is two strangers from the internet coming together to see if they're compatible or not. And to repeat, If you're unsure, then you need to stay in that place of curiosity and go on another date with them. You're not going to know instantly. Another major part of online dating that I want to acknowledge is know why you're creating your profile. Is it to get a lot of compliments about how attractive you are? Is it to find a long-term companion? Is it to sleep around? Regardless of why you're choosing to create your profile, you need to be very clear and communicative about what it is you're looking for. I know Bumble lets you put what you're looking for in your profile, whether it's not sure yet, long-term relationship, dating around, etc. But creating a profile just for a confidence boost and having no intention to ever go on these dates is misleading and discouraging to the person on the receiving end. Because yes, there are real people on the other end of this app. And on that note, don't match with someone you're never going to message. I personally only swipe right if I know I would message this person, and I actually unmatch with someone if I change my mind. Because you could feel one way one minute and then another the next minute, and that's okay. But it is on you to do the due diligence and not give the other person false hope. Oh, and this one is for my girls, spoken directly from a guy's mouth, and that it's okay to message them first. They don't read into it like you do. Girls have this belief that you shouldn't message the guy first. They should make all the first moves, and I'm here to tell you that that's a bunch of hocus pocus. I do believe the guy should plan the first date, at least to some extent, but you can definitely message him first. In fact, it'll help you stand out amongst the crowd and show your confidence in yourself by doing so, because most other women will not take that initiative. Yes, Bumble promotes the girls to message first, but like I said at the beginning of this episode, even that has changed. As far as how to create a good dating profile goes, I want to remind you that you want to put your best foot forward, your best self forward. I've come across guys' profiles that are like, I play way too many video games, or I drink too much. Like, come on. Leave some room for mystery. And while yes, it's good to tell your potential partner your not so great qualities ahead of time and not let them find out on their own 6 months or 6 years later, you're not even letting them get to know you beyond your bad side. It's as though you're laying it all out in the open, like, yep, this is me, take it or leave it, when in reality, you wouldn't tell someone you just met all of your issues and potential red flags. Your dating profile is your first impression. As awful as that sounds, and it's the first date that determines vibe or chemistry or compatibility, but you're not even giving yourself a fighting chance to get to the first date when you share a bit too much or even not enough on your profile. On the flip side, helpful things to include in your profile that are important for a potential mate to know ahead of time include if you have kids or if you're very religious and are looking for the same. That way it saves you both time and energy if you don't align on some very important things. I know for me, I only will swipe right on people who don't have faith in their profile, the word faith, or if they put that they hardly ever drink, either sometimes or never. And I'll swipe left if most of their pictures include drinking and partying or have the word faith in it. And this is because I don't really drink a lot and I'm Jewish, and I'm looking for someone who has more in their life than alcohol, who isn't fully wrapped up in their religion because we don't share the same religion, and I'm not very religious in general. I live in the Bible Belt, so it is a majority of guys who are faith-based, which is okay to be. It's just not what I'm looking for. I also don't swipe right on a guy who has a child simply because I am not at that point in my life to include children. I'm a 27-year-old teenager. I can't be raising someone else's kid. So when you go to create your profile, you want to show who you are at your best. A glimpse into your personal life, like with friends or family, a story that shows a little personality, and a way for someone to engage in a conversation with you. You could even have a prompted question or even a place in your bio that opens the door for someone to easily start messaging you. Also, make sure your pictures are clear and without sunglasses or a hat on in every picture, and smile in your pictures. Guys tend to have blurry hiding pictures, and I'm not swiping right on someone I can't see because how will I even be able to find you in a public setting if we've never met before? And another thing is you need solo pictures. headshots, full body, by yourself. If all of your photos are with a group of friends or even your first couple photos and I have to scroll to try to figure out which one is actually the guy behind the profile, then I'm not swiping right. Don't leave someone guessing. We're already on edge with the whole dating app in the first place. Try your hardest to make your profile clear, concise, and welcoming. Like I said, it's your first impression. Whereas in the real world, or the wild as I like to call it, first impressions are based off of energy, personality, body language, and mutual interest since you're at the same place at the same time, but all of that is non-existent on a dating app. So come in on a strong note while also accurately representing who you are to the best of your ability. And do not ask for someone's Snapchat. Snapchat is outdated and immature and frankly a red flag. Literally as I'm creating this episode, I was conversing with a guy on Bumble and the conversation went nowhere, which is fine. There was nothing to banter with or question asking on his end, but after 2 days of not having a back and forth, he randomly messages me. Add me on Snapchat at Johnny Boy with some numbers added to the end. I screenshotted it and sent it to my friend and said, tell me you're a red flag without telling me you're a red flag. It's inappropriate for someone in their late 20s, early 30s to be asking for a female Snapchat. Besides, I don't have Snapchat anymore, and if someone asks for mine, it really shows me where their maturity is at. You should not be asking for someone's Snapchat when you've never met them and don't even have a phone number for them. We're not in high school or college anymore. Find a new tactic to get to know a girl. I know some of y'all have been catfished and Snapchat gives you those real-time pictures of someone, but you know what else gives you real-time visuals? Asking the girl out on a date. It could be a walking date so you don't even have to spend a ton of money and feel like it was a waste of money if the date doesn't go well. The bottom line is, I know the dating apps are awful, beyond belief. I know that those of you who have found success recognize that it was a diamond in the rough. And I know that with every swipe left, your hope for finding a potential mate declines. Dating apps are like a canon event in your 20s if you didn't get your MRS degree in college or stick with your high school sweetheart. We've all been on them at one point or another. And I think the most important part of having a dating app, and a first for me with this go around, is downloading them when you are mentally healthy. In the past, I've had an account because I was desperate for attention or needed a distraction. Now, I've also downloaded them to go to new places and meet new people when I first moved to Orlando and also to Charlotte. Yes, I downloaded Bumble off of a Sunday Scary Thought post-bad friend zone coffee date, but I really did think about this download and about where I was at in my life, in my healing journey, in my business, and felt I was in a good place to take this app seriously. And actually, I downloaded it, was asked to create a bio, felt overwhelmed by the simple open-ended question, and immediately deleted the app. Then I played 2 hours of sports, came home, showered, ate dinner, and re-downloaded it while texting my friend to help me create it so I wouldn't back out again. Dating apps are emotionally taxing. They are frustrating. They feel like a never-ending pit of unsuitable bachelors. So know that it's okay to take a break from them when you are feeling negative emotions towards the app. But have the right mindset going into it. Take care of your own mental health. Be upfront with what you're looking for. Set goals around creating the profile or using the app. And be open and safe when online goes to offline and in person. And probably, most importantly, effectively communicate and be respectful to the other person. If you're not feeling it, say so. Don't ghost them. Practice good communication skills and they'll appreciate you for it. Maybe not in the moment, but think about it on your end. If you got ghosted with someone you wanted to get to know, you would feel defeated or hung up on that person as there was no closure. So don't do that to someone else. We're adults now, and it's time you start acting like one. And on that topic of ghosting, know that rejection is part of the process. My friend Bree loves to say, rejection is redirection. Don't let a no get you down, because one more no is bringing you that much closer to a yes. I know, I'm full of cliches right now. Besides, you cannot say or do the wrong thing to the right person. I know, there's one more. I had to throw it in. So if someone doesn't like you, or if you're afraid of messaging them, or if feeling too needy and they break things off, thank them for not wasting your time. Maybe not literally. You don't actually have to thank them, but you can mentally be like, thank you for not wasting my time. Your person is out there. I promise. At least that's what I say to myself to get me through these awful profiles of men. And the last thing I'll leave you with is celebrate and acknowledge the successful moments. When a date moves to a second one, or you didn't walk away from a date thinking that was terrible, or you got off the apps and went on a freaking date in the first place. I know dating in 2024 is tough. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Dating in your 20s is tough. But it's not impossible, and if you hate the apps, then get off of them and go to real events or places in person and talk to someone there. I straight up told my therapist I would rather go up to every stranger I find attractive and tell them so than to be on this dating app. But my introverted ass would panic every time, so we continue to swipe and hope that it'll lead to something. Whether that something is a future boyfriend, a future client, a future friend, or a connection to an opportunity. Because you never know what could come from meeting someone new. And that's how I want to end this episode. Online dating is mentally taxing, but you got this. I got this too. And if you liked this episode, if you were like, oh my God, Jess, you were spot on with the world of online dating, then please share it. Give me a 5-star rating, like and subscribe to stay up to date. Email me about your online dating experiences. Download my 3 ways to walk into any room with confidence so you can walk into that first date with your head held high. That's at jessdiamondcoaching.com/confidence. And as always, thank you for listening to another episode of How to 20-something. I can't wait to be in your headphones again next week with another brand new episode.